Hi guys, Roger here. We've reached a milestone today. This is week 26, so we've been working on the car for 6 months or half of a year, depending on how you look at it. I wanted to take a minute to thank all my subscribers. At the time of this video, we have just a little over 350 subscribers. If you could hit that like button down at the bottom of the videos as you're watching them weekly, it would help the channel grow tremendously. I also want to mention that it's summertime here now and I'm working on the car less hours, so you may find that some of the videos in the future will be less than the normal 20 to 25 minutes long. Anyway, let's get started with this week's video, and don't forget to hit the like button down below.
Well, I found something I didn't know that I had. I found the original brake lines off the car, and I don't know if they came with the suspension components or the pedal assembly, the clutch, brake, and gas assembly. I'm guessing that they came with the suspension components, and I removed them, and I just forgot I had them. But the good thing about having them is they had these clips that hold the stainless steel or the flexible part of the brake lines into the mounting brackets, and I was able to know the mounting dimensions and go ahead and make the mounts. And this is one of the front mounts. This is what it looks like. It'll bolt to the frame, and the brake line itself will run up here, the hard line, and attach to, go to the other side over here, and attach to this flexible line at this mounting location. And you can see I've got it coming out, can't see it, and mounted here, and then it continues on around, and I've ran the steering lock end to end, and that seems to be a really nice transition there. It doesn't try to bind or pinch at all. That's what I've done on the front. And on the rear, very similar thing here. I've got the same type mount mounted here. So we get a good look at it. Here we go. And the hard line will come out and attach to the flexible line. The flexible line for the rear will loop around. There's a mounting bracket here that I'll attach to this swing arm, suspension arm, right in that general area, and then it loops around, makes a nice transition over to the calipers. So I'm happy with the way this all looks. I've got to drill the holes larger here where these screws are dropped in and put some rivet nuts in. They're not actually mounted to the frame, it's just dropped in to hold it in place. But once the rivet nuts are in location, I can screw that down and mount it permanently. And then these little clips here clip over the top of that and hold it into the mounting brackets. But that's what we accomplished today. I'm happy with all of that. I'm still waiting on a delivery for some more brake components to finish this up. That delivery should come tomorrow, and then I'll be back on finishing the mounts. Also found these little spacer tabs here for the brake lines that were attached to the original brake lines, so I may utilize that to hold these the correct distance apart, and then all I'll need is a clamp to hold them up against this tube solid to keep anything from moving. But I like the looks of those, so I'll probably incorporate those. But that's what we accomplished today, and we will, if we get components tomorrow, hopefully we'll be continuing with the brake lines tomorrow.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Oh, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling, that feeling, that feeling. that feeling. I know that feeling. Oh, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling, that feeling, that feeling. Oh, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling, that feeling, that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling, that feeling, that feeling. I know that feeling. I know that feeling, that feeling, that feeling.
Before I put the engine back in the car, I wanted to show you this brake line. I've got it running from the front to the rear. You can see these little clamps I 3D printed, and I'm using to hold the brake lines in place. But this line comes all the way back through the tunnel. I have 3 of those clamps here in the tunnel, in the front, rear, and the center, holding the line in place up close next to that wall. Got a jog here to go down underneath the fuel line. Back here to the T, where the 1/4 inch line tees off to 2 3/16 lines, and both lines continue back to this mounting bracket back here, which will be where I clip in the flexible brake lines coming from the calipers, and tie the hard line to the flexible line. Same thing running down this side. 2 clamps, and then going to the bracket. I'll have to cut those tubes off to the exact right length and crimp a fitting on the end of those. But I just wanted you to see what this looked like before I put the engine back in the car. With the engine in, it's going to be a lot harder to see. I'm still working on the mounts in the front of the car. I have the lines ran, but I don't have those plastic clamps in place yet. It'll be the same plastic clamps. The pieces are laying there on that aluminum tube. But once I get down in there and drill and tap in that tight spot, probably going to need a right angle drill. But when I get that done, the front will be finished and the backs are close to finished. But let's go ahead and mount this engine back in the car. So this is what the front looks like. I have one clamp there close to the T to keep that T from touching the frame and moving around. And then the tube, there's a short tube here. Comes out and mounts to the flexible line, and I have plastic tubing over the entire line so it can't move and chafe against the frame. Same thing here on the long tube. The clamp on the one end. The mounting bracket here to attach to the flexible line. That'll clip in and hold that completely solid where it can't move. And then I've got this rubber tubing all the way across the line. Keep it from chafing against the frame. I don't think it's going to move much, but if that is an issue, I'll add another one of these plastic clamps like this down here at the end, and possibly one here near the end of this short tube or in the center of it. Do a little more research on that and see if what I have is sufficient or if it needs more clamps. Let's see. I think the next thing I'm going to do, after talking to some people about my cooling tubes running through the tunnel of the car, I've had a couple of people concerned about it. Those tubes putting off too much heat, heating the cabin area in the summer being really hot. So what I've decided to do, since I have these tubes here, I made this metal plate. I'm going to weld that in, cap that off. That's essentially the same, in my opinion, as putting the tubes under the car, because there'll be a metal layer the same thickness as the floor of the car between the cabin and the cooling tubes. There's a cover over the bottom of the tubes, but it can be removed to let some cooler air access those tubes. And I can also fill that area in with some insulation or foam or something to help keep that heat out of the cabin area. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to order some more tubing the same size of this. I'm going to weld the tubes in just outside of this plate, and then I'll make a same cap like right here and lay on top of those tubes and weld in on both sides, essentially completely encapsulating those cooling tubes and having them accessible from the rear of the car and blocking them off from the cabin area. I looked at tunneling these cooling tubes some way else, getting them out of the cabin area, but I just don't see any way possible. So this is the best I could come up with, and I do believe it'll be quite a bit better than what I have now. So I've got to order the tubing, the rectangular tubing for the rear, so it'll be a while before I do that, but I think the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and fit this top cap plate here and go ahead and weld it in. So let's get started with that.